Welcome to the Complete Fitness Podcast with Core for Complete Fitness. Your episode is starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody. Happy April 3rd, Wednesday. We got the first week in April already. I hope you guys are having a great month. Hope you had a great March. And let's get this show on the road. You got me solo today. But like always, guys, if you're watching or listening, if you could please, whatever platform you are listening to me or us on, if you're listening to a past episode, there's a little subscribe button, whether you're on iTunes or Spotify or YouTube. If you guys could press it, that'll help us keep growing the podcast. As you guys know, we do this for free out of the love and kindness of our hearts. And that way we can keep growing this thing through you guys and keep on cranking these things out. Now, normally, I know, kind of starting off the year, there was 2 of us. We just had busy kid stuff today. So we're rolling with just the old school version, just the Cory podcast today. But today, guys, it's a good one. And this is kind of speaking from the heart today. This is one of those days. I know when I talked to you guys last week, I was like, oh, it's great. The sun is shining again. But it's like 40 degrees. It's overcast. It's raining. It's a very October-y, November-y day. And it has been like a mental battle. Everybody basically in the Midwest or in Michigan is just completely fried out right now of it being the same kind of Groundhog's Day effect over and over. Pretty much since like October, almost like 6 months now essentially. We're just kind of in this like foggy, gray, rainy kind of season. And it's cool for like a month or 2, you can take that. Or when the snow's falling at Christmas or New Year's, that's one thing. But when you get to like now, end of March, beginning of April, and you're like, okay, I need to see the damn sun. I need to go outside. I'm kind of getting sick of this. It gets kind of a little bit mentally taxing on, at least for myself, and I know several other people. You just kind of get stuck in this like blah mode. So anyways, today, it's in the morning. I run back home, help get the kids woken up, and it's raining outside. It's wet. It's cold. And I'm like, the last thing I want to do is drag these stupid garbage cans to the street. This is 2 times I've talked about how much I hate taking out the garbage on this podcast. But same thing, guys. I'm like, okay, it's cold. It's rainy. It's wet. I don't want to take this garbage out to the curb, but I have to do it. So I get that done. And then same thing, wake up the kids. The way that our kids, they go to different schools. One's in preschool, one's in just regular school right now. So they're on different schedules. So one had spring break last week. The other one stayed home. The other one's on spring break. So one kid's going to school. So it's just a little bit of flipping and flopping this week. But it's just, you want just the sun to be hitting your skin. Everybody's kind of ready for that spring and summer turnover. And I find that the lack of quick motivation this time of year is starting to kind of dissipate. And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, is the difference between being motivated temporarily and being dedicated to something, right? A lot of us, just like I said with the garbage thing, was I motivated to take out the trash this morning when it's cold and wet and rainy? And I'm like, no, but I have to do this. I can't let the garbage pile up for 2 weeks. Same thing waking up in the morning, right? You probably don't want to get up early and get yourself ready for work, but you got to make money. You got bills to pay. It's something that you have to do. And a lot of us can take this kind of programming and apply it into our health and into our workouts too. Is every single day going to feel hunky-dory? It's sunny. It's 70 degrees. The birds are chirping. It's not rainy. It's not gray. It's not overcast. You're probably going to have a lot more days that go against the grain of what you thought was going to happen than what actually happened. But if you're only motivated on the good days where things are going well, or like I said, the sun is shining and it's 70 degrees, it's going to be a really tough road and a tough hill to climb because you're only working out in these sporadic moments when you're just briefly motivated. It's the determining factor that kind of sits below that, right? That pushes you through to get to that next level. And a lot of us have these brief kind of sparks of motivation where we're feeling good, or I want to do this for an hour, or let's do this today. But a week goes down the line, 2 weeks goes down the line, the weather's kind of wet, it's cold outside, it's chilly, it's overcast, and that motivation that you had that was a big thing when you started gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So that's why it is crucial if you want to move the needle from point A to point B in terms of your health and fitness, remember motivation is fleeting, but discipline and determination are the things that are kind of like, think of it like your diesel engine, right? Motivation, it's a huge burst, but it burns out really, really quick, and then you're left with no fuel. Think of determination and dedication as a thing that kind of is just like a freight train, right? It'll just keep pumping and pumping and pumping. It doesn't matter if it's nice outside, if it's cold outside, if it's wet outside, if it's raining outside. You know you got to go to work. You know you got to hit the gym. You know you got to take the trash out. Whatever that underlying thing is that kind of pushes you through to get to that next level, that's the thing that you want to focus on, guys. And like I said, for a lot of us, when we start either a new workout program or some kind of regimen, or maybe you're picking up something at work for somebody or whatever that thing is, it's very easy to get a big burst of energy when you start. But the thing that pushes you a year down the line, 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years down the line is that dedication, the determination, and kind of that willingness to go, there's going to be a lot of days that I'm not motivated, but I still have to get this thing done. And for most people, I would say, if you're listening to this and you're like, well, this sounds like me, you're not alone. This is usually the hardest part for people when they're trying to get in shape, is they start something when their motivation level is extremely high, but their dedication level might be super duper low. And you have this big variance that's in between those things. So all of a sudden motivation wears off and they're like, okay, this is going to take some work. I can't just, I cut out carbs and I cut out sugar. I got to hit the gym 4 to 5 to 6 days a week. This is going to take some kind of maybe some reprogramming of my life or figuring out how I balance this into my life. And that's why we always tell people when you start, guys, and I've mentioned this on the podcast before, is don't bite off more than you can chew when you first start off something new. Reason being, you're starting something when your motivation is extremely high. But when that motivation fades, which it will, it always does, you're left kind of with this pile or this boulder on your shoulders that you're like, my motivation's gone. How the hell am I going to do all this stuff? So instead of taking on everything at once and then motivation burns up and then you're left with all this crap you have to kind of sit through. If you're new to working out, start with 3 days a week. Do that for a month or for 2 or 3 weeks. If you got it dialed in, okay, now I'll bump it up to 4 days a week. Maybe I'll do 5 days a week. Maybe I'll go for a walk 1 or 2 times a week. And you can see how you're building kind of this stepping stone approach instead of trying to pile everything onto your body at once. But that's the biggest, I would say, probably one of the hardest things with people when they want to get in shape is the dedication factor. Or they let one little thing, whether it's a rainy day or a cold day, or maybe you had a stressful day at work, completely derail their progress. And when that happens, you can usually use that as like the 1-2 punch where the motivation is kind of fading. I have to kind of flex my dedication muscles to push myself through to this other side. And this thing takes time to develop, guys. It's not just like, okay, motivation's gone, tap into the other one, press the button, and now I'll be good to go again. This is kind of like a muscle that takes time to build over and over again. But the great thing is, just like when you're working out, the more you do it, the more you repeat it, the stronger it gets, the stronger it gets, the stronger it gets. And then over years of doing these things and overcoming these obstacles, you're like, okay, no matter what it throws at me, no matter what my mood is, no matter if it's cold and wet outside or sunny and 70 degrees, I know that I'm going to get the things done that I need to get done because that's just kind of what I built in that underneath lying, groundwork factor. Now, tapping into that a little bit more. In order to do this, guys, just like I told you with the kind of the fuel analogy, you can't be pumping your body with a bunch of crap and expecting it to run efficiently, right? So let's say that motivation is at an all-time high. And I've mentioned this before. Let's say pizza night is Fridays with your family. You watch a movie and you order a pizza or something like that. Or you have a date night on Saturdays or whatever kind of that thing is that's kind of like, okay, this is my one thing that our family does. I can't, get out of this, for lack of a better term. But this is the one thing that my family does every single week, and I have to make sure that I fit this in so I can have family time with them. Cool. If that's your thing and okay, every single Friday, it's going to be, whatever it is, pizza and breadsticks, or maybe you go out to dinner or breakfast after church on Sunday or whatever that thing is. work that into your schedule so you can stay dedicated when the motivation wears off. So if I'll give you an example. If you're somebody that goes, okay, I'm going to start everything fresh on Monday, no carbs, no bread, no this, blah, 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 damn well knowing on Friday or Sunday is your family night and there's going to be that thing there that you're not supposed to have or can't have, or you're saying, I'm never going to eat this again, look at it truthfully with yourself and go, okay, if I can only make this 4.5 days before I have to kind of punch my ticket and go, this ain't working, odds are long term that's probably not the way to do things for you. You can certainly still eat no carb. You can certainly cut out sugar, but give yourself a little bit of flexibility so then that way, again, when the motivation wears off, you kind of have this diesel engine that's pushing you along. But again, you're not going to be able to do that if what you're putting into your body is crap, right? Let's say every single night, I was up till, I don't know, midnight, either eating sugar or drinking or filling my body with crap. Or when I got home from work, I had pancakes every day or cereal every day. And I was eating sugar in between shifts and I'm doing all this crap. How well or how dedicated or determined do you think I'm going to be as the days progress to keep myself in shape and kind of keep that candle burning or that spark going to do the things that I have to do? Probably going to be really hard or almost impossible, right? If I'm feeling like crap, if I'm lethargic, if I'm exhausted, if I'm getting sick all the time, if my body's trying to kind of burn off all this gunk that I'm putting in it, if I'm not drinking enough water, if I'm drinking a bunch of stuff that has sugar in it, odds are over these days, I'm going to go, I feel like crap. I don't want to work out. I don't want to do anything. It's going to be easier to sit on my butt or not take the garbage out or not do that thing that's going to kind of push you along to get to that next level. Imagine if, like, they keep using fuel as an analogy, but, our cars run on gas for the most part. Imagine if you just dumped a bunch of sugar in your gas tank and then tried to fire it up. It probably wouldn't start. It probably wouldn't run. It probably wouldn't want to run or would run just for a couple minutes and then completely kind of putter out. Well, the same thing happens to your body. If you're not giving the things that it needs to actually set that dedication factor, that determination factor, so when the motivation does wear off a little bit, you kind of have this secondary fuel source to kind of push you through to the other side, it's going to be really, really difficult to get to where you want to go, right? You're just going to kind of be stuck in park and go, I don't want to do anything today. And the same thing is with our body, guys. So my point is, everybody's going to have these periods throughout their life and throughout the years and throughout the months where they don't want to do stuff, where they don't want to take the trash out, or they don't want to go to work today, or they don't want to hit the workout that they know that they have to get to the gym today, but it's 10 times easier to drive past it and just go home. Maybe you had a bad day at work. Maybe it's like it is outside. But when you can overcome that brief kind of downspout or downfall of motivation and overcome it with dedication and determination, that's the thing that's going to carry you on to the other side. And it's kind of always this little balancing act, right? Motivation might be high one day and boom, cool, easy peasy, had a great day at work, got 8 hours of sleep, drank my water, it's sunny outside, I got the windows down, I'm feeling good. And then you're going to have days like today where it's cold, it's rainy, it's overcast, and you're like, I don't want to do a damn thing. I just want to chill in bed and watch Netflix all day. But those days, 1 or 2 of those days over the course of the year aren't a big deal, guys. But if every single time they come, you kind of throw in the towel and you go, well, I'm just going to listen to what my body says. I don't want to do anything. Like I told you, there's going to be more days that kind of go against the grain than what you had planned, the days that actually pan out the way you did. I'll give you guys an example. Right before I came in to this podcast, our ceiling at the gym has like this foam insulation stuff where they take like this like sprayer gun thing and I don't know what it is. It looks like a bunch of like paper that's been cut up like paper mache and they spray it onto the roof so that way or the ceiling so it sticks and then everything's insulated and it kind of like poofs out like this. Anyways, I get in here and a big clump of it has fallen on the ground. Not the end of the world. It's a 5-10 minute fix. You just got to take the vacuum, suck it up, and then you're back to normal again. But it would be very easy for me to go, had I not had this underlying factor of going, oh my God, today sucks, it's cold, it's rainy, now the stuff kind of fell, it's not sticking anymore. It would be very easy to go, this day's falling apart, I just want to go home. But as you know, we got shit to do, we're adults, we got stuff to do, promises to make to ourselves. I told myself no matter what, I'm not going to check the emails or phone calls right when I get to the gym. I'm going to bang out this podcast and be good to go. And had I not stuck with that and got sidetracked and said, oh, I'll push the podcast off till tomorrow, or I'll do this, I got this stuff to vacuum up, that kind of sets this precedent inside of your brain where it's going, okay, anytime something bad happens, you're just going to have to pivot and pivot and pivot. And eventually you end up following nothing. You're just kind of winging it based on how you feel and what the day throws at you. And when that happens, guys, you end up losing control of everything, right? Focus on what you can control the things that you can control, and cope with all the other stuff. Not every day is going to be great. I think a lot of us kind of wake up, or the day before we go to bed, we go, okay, here's going to be my day. I wake up, I get my stuff on, I brush my teeth, put on deodorant, make some coffee, go to work, there's no traffic, have a nice day at work, come back, there's no traffic, get a workout in, and then go home. And you guys know as the hours progress and everybody wakes up in the day, here's a fire to put out, here's a fire to put out, here's a fire to put out. And it's very easy when you're putting out those little fires that just happen day in, or day in, day out, just a part of life, to go, well, this has been a bad day, motivation's gone, I'm just going to kind of throw in the towel on it and we'll pick it right back up tomorrow. Those days are going to happen, they're going to happen a lot. But if every time they happen, it's a reason for you to give up on yourself, that's where you're riding kind of that slippery slope, and you have to knock yourself out of that habit super duper quick. And again, the easiest way to do it is stick with some kind of regimen that no matter what happens, I've said it in here before, but treat your workouts like they're scheduled appointments that you can't miss, right? We make time to go to the dentist. We make time to go to the doctors. We make time to have meetings. We make time to do everything under the sun. But the one thing that people usually don't completely cement in is their workouts. Or they'll go, well, I was going to do it at 5, but maybe I'll do it at 6. Or maybe I'll do 2 workouts tomorrow to make up for my lack of it today. Have a system where you go, this is my me time. This is my can't miss thing that I have to do. And when you can do that over and over and over again, guys, that's how you kind of unlock the key to no matter great day, bad day, or everything in between, you're going to get the shit done that you have to get done because you built up the groundwork to do it. And I've mentioned this before, just like building a house on a crappy foundation. It might stand for a week or 2 or 3 weeks or even a month, but the first storm that comes in, that thing is going to knock over, your roof is going to pop up, and then all of a sudden you got a 10 times bigger problem than when you started with. So build the foundation, build the lasting habits, build the thing that you can replicate day in, day out, even when it's sunny and 70 or even when it's 40 degrees and raining outside. So that way you guys have a fail-proof system. Not always going to be easy, I know, but when you have kind of that diesel engine that's powering you and that will to not give up, that's the thing that's going to carry you through to the other side. So, speaking from experience, guys, every day or every week, I feel like is a different week on the podcast. We keep getting these slivers of like 70-degree days, and everybody's like, okay, we're turning the corner. It'll be 70 for a day, and then it just dips right back down to like the October weather. But we will be there soon. We always are. And then what else, guys? Supplements. Should you need anything at all, head to core4supplements.com. I got this on the speed dial right now for the podcast. But we got whey protein, we got vegan protein, we got greens, we got pre-workouts, we got fat burners. And the best thing is, if you're a podcast listener, you save 10% off of your entire order. If you head to core4supplements.com and whatever you want inside the store, guys, if you use the code word podcast at the checkout, you save 10% off of everything. And the best part is if you spend over $100, we ship it to you for free. So you get the free shipping and you get the 10% off coupon as well. And it drops off right to your door, usually in about 3 to 5 business days, depending on where you live. So that is all, people. One more time, core4supplements.com. Take a peek. If you see anything in there, you have any questions, guys, post it on the link on this. In the comment section, we'll get back to you, answer any questions. But everything is safe. Everything has been approved by the FDA. And it's great, great stuff. And it tastes awesome, too. But that is all I got for you, peoples. Happy first day of April. Hope you guys had a great Easter. Hopefully you guys have a great month of April. Remember, set the groundwork. Power up that diesel engine, and when you guys can do that, That's going to be your ticket to long-term success. Love you guys, and I'll see you next week.